listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, a podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static. In today's episode, we are talking about combining the power of your insurance expertise with an exciting opportunity here at Ritter Insurance Marketing. We recently announced a partnership with Registered Social Security Analysts, or RSSA for short, a company that offers an accreditation for Social Security knowledge that agents can use to offer Social Security planning services. I had the privilege of sitting down with Tom Drapala, Director of Strategic Partnerships for RSSA, to ask him some questions and learn more about the program. Here's our conversation. We are talking to one of our newest partners here at Ritter Insurance Marketing. Welcome to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, Tom Drapala.
Hey, yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on. I'm really excited to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about RSSA and our new partnership.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here today. We are very excited about this new opportunity that we're offering out to our agents. Can you tell us just a little bit more about yourself and what it is that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Tom Drapala, and I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships for the RSSA Social Security Program. For those of you who are new to understanding RSSA, it stands for Registered Social Security Analyst, and we are a turnkey Social Security program for education, technology, marketing, and support for insurance and financial professionals to integrate Social Security planning into their practice. So I'm in charge of all of our strategic partnerships, including you all at Ritter, to the agents that you all serve.
So that kind of gets into the program. And you mentioned that RSSA stands for, again, Registered Social Security Analysts.
Yes.
What exactly does it mean to be a registered Social Security analyst?
Well, so RSSA is a designation that an agent or advisor would receive by going through our program. And that designation is approved for continuing education by Broadridge, FI360, NASBA, the CFP board, the IRS. We're also listed on the FINRA directory, and we're currently approved in 42 out of 50 states for insurance CE as well, depending on the state, and it's usually around 9 credits. Now, we wanted to go through all of those licensing boards to build the credibility between our organization and the partners that we serve, as well as the agents that enroll in our program. But the whole idea about becoming an RSSA, I think for agents, especially if they're in the Medicare space or if they're selling annuities or anywhere where they're trying to get in front of that 10,000 baby boomer generation that is retiring every day, this is a really unique way to differentiate yourselves by using this important aspect of one's retirement with Social Security planning, which will open the door for organic cross-selling opportunities, whether, again, that's Medicare, life insurance, annuities, or whatever else.
So essentially, not only is this a way to bring potential leads into your Medicare business, you can also use it, which is great. We love the idea of continuing education credits. Always glad to be able to have those. You did explain a little bit about what the RSSA program is. Can you go into a little bit more detail? Maybe tell us a little bit about why the program was developed.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2017, RSSA first got off the ground as more of a continuing education program only. We've now expanded to a much larger, broader platform where we now have an all-in-one program to make agents successful using this. And so we have a 5-module e-learning course that gives you that structure on the Social Security rules, the types of benefits, benefit eligibility. And then in module 5, we have our own proprietary software technology called the RSSA Roadmap. And in module 5, we train agents on all different case studies and examples of how to use that to help their clients with these important Social Security decisions. And it's not just about answering the client's questions, but it's also about giving them enough education to make the best and right decisions as far as when to claim, how to claim, and everything in between. Social Security can get very complicated, right? So we give agents the tools they need to be able to help their clients. And in turn, that builds that trust and that rapport and that relationship where they want to work with that agent on the other aspects, such as Medicare and other things that they provide.
What type of people is this program for? Is there a specific kind of professional or a specific type of agent that you're looking for?
So we have all different insurance and financial professionals in our program, from Medicare agents to CFPs, CPAs, elder care attorneys. It really is a great program for anyone looking to get in front of that aging in demographic, right? And especially for Medicare agents, the big fit for them is that a lot of consumers that we work with associate Social Security and Medicare to be the same thing, right? Even though they're two separate things, they're both distributed through the Social Security Administration. And when someone is reaching that age, these are the two main topics on their mind. It's all on the internet. There's so much talk about Social Security and Medicare that it's just a great fit, especially when you can offer Social Security planning potentially ahead of Medicare age and get those clients before other agents do. Think about, let's just say where a Medicare agent is targeting a 65-year-old, right? Getting that T65 sale. That 65-year-old is being targeted by every person in their area to sell them on these Medicare products. But how does that 65-year-old differentiate, one agent from another? And a big part of it now is obviously word of mouth, referrals, reviews, and all of that. But if you can find that unique and different approach, which is hopefully becoming an RSSA and using Social Security planning, that can really differentiate you. And again, like I said, get you in the door before they reach 65. So when they get those flyers and mailers and they're seeing the TV ads, they can ignore all that because you are the one that already built that relationship.
Right. And that's something we talked about that here on the podcast. Dave Dietz will tell you about that he is always saying to agents, you have to find those differentiating factors in your business. So this sounds like a great way to be able to do that. Other than those lead opportunities and the differentiating aspect, is there any other reason why agents should get this credential?
Well, I think a big part of it is that when we're working with clients with these decisions, right? Not every client has a 401k or Roth IRA, but Social Security will be a large, if not the only portion of retirement income for a majority of retirees, right? So if we can help them with, again, this important aspect of their retirement, that's how it's going to build that relationship where then you can offer your, Medicare services and other services thereafter. From my experience, when, I'm walking a client through their Social Security report that gets created from the RSA roadmap software, it allows you to answer their questions, have the ability to ask them questions back, really give them a holistic view of everything they need to know before making this decision. Because 96% of everyone who does collect doesn't make a decision that is best based on their circumstances. And they're losing out on potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement. Now, the biggest part of this is that there's very little education on Social Security out there, and there's very few reliable resources to get this help. The Social Security Administration by law is not allowed to give advice. They're allowed to answer questions, but unfortunately, we see people that, call them 3 times and get 3 different answers to the same question. A big part of that is context. The biggest thing about being an RSSA is not only being able to field questions, but knowing what questions to ask that client back so that you cover everything and no money is left on the table. I actually went to a conference last year, a Medicare conference, and a Medicare agent who was in the field for 30 years said they haven't begun collecting their own benefit yet, and they were 72, thinking that they can collect at 73 like a required minimum distribution. And Social Security maxes out at age 70. So this particular agent who's been in the field for so long lost out on over $100,000. How are our average clients who know nothing? They're losing out on a ton of money. And again, we want to be that reliable resource to be able to help them. So we give agents all of the training, But it's not just about, going through our program and being educated. We give them everything they need after that to integrate this into their practice. We have weekly trainings. We provide them with the marketing material. We give them everything they need to be successful using this. And we're getting success stories all the time about how people have used this to completely transform their business. And we like to hear that. We want those stories to be with every agent that goes through our program.
Right. It's funny that you mentioned some of the financial factors of why you would want agents to use this with their clients, because KFF just recently did a study that pretty much the majority of Medicare beneficiaries are really in financial hardship situations where they don't have a lot of savings. They might even be in debt. So to really be able to maximize that amount of money for them that they're going to be getting, that's absolutely a huge opportunity. And then if you establish that trust with them through that process, that's only going to continue through other different products. How do agents typically use this program or the RSSA credential with their clients? What does that approach look like?
So there's two different ways of going about using this. And, pretty much 50% of the agents that are in our program are using this as a value add. And then the other 50% are actually charging a fee for the service. Now, as an individual agent, you could choose to do whatever side of that you'd like. But I think the end goal is that we want to sell more products and services that we're currently providing, right? We just want to utilize this platform to exponentially get there, 10x the investment, 10x the sales, right? And continue year after year to get that T65 sales and other Medicare sales, as well as that residual income. So I think it's less important to charge a fee, even though people do that. But I think we want to provide that value to these clients, build that relationship, and be able to provide them with a Medicare policy or other things that they may provide. But I think a big part of this is when they're working with clients and they're, answering their Social Security questions, that conversation of Medicare will naturally come up anyway, because when I'm talking to a client, I tell them, listen, are you on Medicare A or B? Are you on both? Are you still on a group plan? What do you plan to continue to do with work? Because all of these decisions, even, around Social Security, still matter with the Medicare side of things, right? If they're still working and it could impact their Social Security benefit. But on top of that is, we all know with Medicare, if they don't make certain decisions in a timely manner, they could receive that lifetime penalty. So all of this kind of just naturally comes up. And I love having the conversation of Social Security, which all of a sudden the client starts to ask me, hey, can you help me with these other aspects of my financial or retirement needs, right? I think building that credibility is really helpful with, what agents are going to be able to use this program for.
Okay. There's a lot of benefit there. And I think you've touched on not just the benefit to our clients, but even that agent-client relationship, that this really does firm up that idea of relying on the agent, not so much as just an insurance agent, but really as the trusted advisor. So anything that we can do to get to that point with our clients, obviously, that's a great opportunity. You had mentioned that in step 5 or phase 5 of the RSSA process is this roadmap software. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because that's relatively new, correct?
Yeah, well, so again, when we first started out in 2017 and for a couple years after that, we were more a continuing education program, which is now expanded into our full integrated program, which includes the education, which is the 5-module course. We now have live course webinars, so we give that extra support for those agents who are hands-on visual learners. After the 5 modules, the agent goes and sits for the final exam to earn the designation. And then after that, again, the integration is very important. We want to train them. We have weekly trainings where they could join us on how to market themselves, what marketing materials we have, how to put on Social Security events, and all these techniques that they can use to get in front of prospects, make more one-on-one appointments where those other opportunities lie. But around that, I think the technology is the most important part, because the RSA roadmap is our own proprietary software that we created. And we wanted to create a very simple and user-friendly way for agents to integrate this software and technology and Social Security planning into their practice with the main thing in mind for them, which is time. We don't want them to spend a ton of time having to use this program and software, taking away from their core business. We want them to utilize this in a way where it's going to increase their sales opportunity, but in a timely manner. And so when you put the first bit of information into the software of that client, to handing that client that tangible, personalized report takes no more than 5 to 10 minutes. And the big reason for that is that once the information is in the system, it will automatically generate that client's calculations, their benefit options, and it automatically creates that personalized report. So there's no heavy lifting on the agent. And the big part of the software is that when it creates that report, it's very easy for the agent and the client to understand, but it allows that agent to set up that one-on-one appointment, to walk that client through their options, to answer their questions, and to build that relationship where those other sales opportunities formulate from there. But our software has many features that we think are really helpful, not just to agents, but to the consumers. Because at the end of the day, just like everything else, our consumers that we work with get very confused, right? They want to make things very simple. That's why they hire us. They want to know, hey, you have this area of expertise. I'm coming to you for this advice, for answers to my questions. And so we make it very simple for them as well.
Okay. And probably something that we should mention that I don't know that we did mention is that when you file and claim your Social Security, this is not something that can be edited or revised as you go down the road. It is a once and done thing, correct?
Well, essentially, Social Security is a one and done. Yes, it's a big decision and it pretty much has to be done right the first time. There are a couple rules that after you've begun collecting, you can take advantage of. But, a lot of people don't really utilize them. And it's more of, well, let me give you an example. The first rule is that within the first year that someone files for benefits, they can withdraw their application. Now, the caveat to that is that they have to pay back all the benefits that they were given up to that point. The only reason someone will really do this is if maybe they got laid off from a job or they quit thinking they were going to retire and they start collecting. And next thing you know, they get a job making 50, 100,000 and they don't need the benefit anymore. And there's also earnings limits. So they end up paying back, let's just say the first 6 months, and it's a withdrawal of an application. The other rule, which I think agents could take more advantage of, is, and a question we always get is, if someone's collecting already, can we help them any further? And the answer potentially could be yes. And the rule around that is the voluntary suspension. If a client collects before reaching their full retirement age, once they reach full retirement age, they can voluntarily stop their benefit. Now, they don't have to pay back the benefits, but it allows that benefit to start growing that 8% per year again up to age 70. Just as an example, someone might do this if they have a minor child who's eligible till they're 18, but that child ages out at 18 once the Social Security recipient maybe is 64, right? If they start collecting at 62 and stop, at 62, 63, and 64, and then they decide that at 67, their full retirement age, they want to voluntarily stop their benefit to let it grow again, sometimes they can do that. Now, these rules are there. Many people don't take advantage of them. And again, it's because you really have to bridge the gap for no longer getting that payment. There are options that they have. However, generally we say, yes, it's a one and done deal. You should get it right the first time. A big part of it, again, is that people make the wrong decisions, but mostly because they're giving wrong or misleading information from someone at Social Security. And there was actually a 60-minute interview a few months back on Social Security overpayments about how many Americans are put into really hard positions, having to pay back the Social Security Administration, $50,000, $100,000. I've even seen a $250,000 overpayment. And it's because they got wrong or misleading information from Social Security, yet the Social Security Administration still blames our clients. Now, this could be very avoidable by helping our clients before things like this happen. And we do that by showing you everything you need to know through RSSA.
Right. I mean, I know just from, when you get married, you go into Social Security, obviously, to change your name, all of that. there was a level of anxiety of, oh my goodness, this is going to take forever in just doing that. So I can't even imagine the level of anxiety that people have surrounding, getting this benefit done, getting it done correctly the first time. But then also just the fact that they have to take on all of this education about Social Security at the same time while they're trying to navigate Medicare. That's quite a lot to have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. And they shouldn't have to deal with that, especially not knowing that they're even getting a wrong answer. To
Right.
the average person, they think it's, the best thing to do is just to go and call the Social Security Administration. There's a lot of people out there that realize, hey, there is so much information out there that is incorrect. And to be able to find somebody that can truly help them in a way that they need. And I'm not talking about the typical financial advisor bait and switch where you're talking about Social Security for a few minutes and then getting right into your sales pitch. This is genuinely helping them with potentially what's going to be the most important decision. I mean, over a lifetime, a couple can receive millions of dollars in Social Security benefits, yet we're sending them to somebody who could potentially help them lose out on $100,000 to $200,000, which is a huge portion of retirement income. And by working with clients, I've seen them very intrigued, happy at the end of the consultation, just knowing, even if it's to confirm that what they plan to do was the correct thing, is enough for them. And I've been able to build such strong relationships where, again, the clients I've worked with, they ask me, can you help me with Medicare? Can you help me with these other aspects? Because I know you, I want to work with you. And quite honestly, I'm sick of getting those flyers and mailers from random agents that who knows if they're credible, who knows if they're going to do the right thing by me.
Right, right. That is one thing we do try to stress here is that if you can come alongside and teach and educate what you're actually doing, the service of being able to sign them up for a plan, that is going to go so much further towards client retention than anything else you could possibly try to do. We covered a lot of different aspects of this program. Are there any other things that you would like to touch on that maybe we missed as far as the RSSA program goes?
Well, I think if you're thinking about doing this, it does take a little bit of time. The program to get through it is about 15 to 20 hours. And it can't be one of those programs that you fake your way through and just try to get it done. You do need to learn the material. This is for the agent who's serious about increasing their business, really taking it to that next level and using this kind of investment into your business to do so. And so, yeah, there is a price involved, right? For the program package, it's $1,850, which is a significant discount for Ritter. If you were to go through the program individually and buy everything that we talked about today, it's over $3,000. So from Ritter to give it for $1,850 is a huge discount. But again, we always tell people that if the $1,850 is what's scaring you, then you might be in the wrong business, right? Because that's 3 T65 sales. If you don't think you're confident enough to sell 3 sales, you're probably not in the right business. This is for serious people looking to take it to the next level. And again, it doesn't have to be a year, 2 years later. You can put your first seminar on. We've seen people make double, triple their investment in the first month they do this. And again, our team is here to support you in every aspect so that you are successful. If any agent reaches out to us for help, we'll help every single person, no matter what it takes, because our business is more hands-on. We want people to succeed. We want to hear those success stories. It's not just about getting people enrolled and they don't do anything. That's not what this is about.
And two, just remember that those continuing education credits, that is something that if you look at it from the standpoint of you're going to be completing a credit that you need to have in order to keep up your license, but then also that you're going to get this extra benefit out of it from a standpoint of just learning a completely different side of something that your clients already need. I think it's a great opportunity. I'm really excited about what our agents are going to do and how they're going to take you guys up on this opportunity. Should an agent want to get started? Should they want to start going through the process of becoming a registered Social Security Analyst? What do they need to do?
So the very first step is to enroll in the program. And that is a discount of the $1,850 through Ritter. And the page to enroll for that discount is rssa.com/Ritter. So rssa.com/Ritter. You'll be put on a landing page where you can click on the discount to enroll. Once you get started, we email you right away and let you know the exact steps on going through the modules and give you that support right away. So that would be the first step. If you do have any questions, you could always reach out to the team at Ritter or myself. My email is thomas.drapala@rssa.com. That's THOMAS.Drapala, DRAPALA@rssa.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
All right. And we will also be linking all of that information in the notes for our listeners. Tom, is there anything else that you would like to leave our agents with today?
Well, I just appreciate everyone listening in on this. And again, if you're looking to take your business to that next level, there's so many programs out there that are trying to help you with leads and everything else. If you think this program is a good fit for you, or if you have more questions, reach out to us. We're excited to see Ritter agents go through our program and again, be successful. And Sarah, thank you again so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. Tom, thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to having you back again in the future.
Thanks.
Special thanks again to Tom Drapala, Director of Strategic Partnerships for RSSA. Appreciate him coming in to chat about the program and give our listeners a little more information. The RSSA certification is a unique opportunity to grow your business in a few different ways. There are a lot of strategic benefits here that we are hoping agents will take advantage of. To get started, as Tom mentioned, you can visit rssa.com/Ritter. That's rssa.com/Ritter. And we will also have that link in our episode notes right at the top, so it is easy to find. And if you'd like more information, that's cool too. If you keep scrolling down through the episode notes, you'll find additional links to more info on the RSSA program, as well as a link to reach out to our sales team here at Ritter. As always, thank you so much for listening today. We will see you next episode. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was recorded and produced by me, Sarah Ruppel. Special thanks to Tom Drapala for the interview. Script proofing by Tina Lamoureux. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Follow along with our show wherever you like to listen.